Today we're going to be making the Petite Stitchery Ryan open back romper. I make this a little bit differently than the way the instructions suggest to do it. Their first step would be to have you take your front and back pieces, put them right sides together and sew the front seam, and then add your binding on like a band. But I have my binding attachment in my cover stitch, so I figured out a way to do it with just binding. So you have a V for both your front and back bodices, and I just go ahead and add binding onto those V sections for both the front and the back. Now this is just a personal preference, but whenever I am finished with my binding, I line up the V pieces and I throw in a little basting stitch to just hold the neckline pieces perfectly in line, so that whenever I go to serge them, it doesn't shift off on me and everything will stay even. Now that I have the basting stitch in place, I go ahead and attach both front pieces together. Starting at the crotch seam, I work my way up the middle of the front of both bodices. Now that the front and back body pieces are one piece, we're going to go ahead and sew the side seams and the crotch seam. It's now time to construct the strap and arm side binding. What you're going to do is go ahead and thread your binding through, and if you are looking at the back piece of your romper, that's where your strap is going to attach. So I let my binding go through about 2 or 3 inches, and then I start threading through the body of the fabric, so that way I have enough to tack over to make my loop for my strap. And then once you've gone through and you've attached the binding to the body and now you're just making your strap, you can just go through and sew as much or as little as you like for your strap. And then you will repeat this on the opposite side. Now the way the binding works, since I started on the back of the one side, I'm going to be starting on the front of the opposite side. So for this one, once I start my binding, I use the strap length for the other strap that I just created, and I kind of hold those two together and just make sure like I'm creating an equal amount of strap on both sides. This also ensures that you leave enough binding in your strip to go through and attach it to the body of your romper. Now that the binding is all attached, we're going to go ahead and make our loop on the back. If you take that 2 or 3 inches of extra binding that we left on the back and then just fold it over on itself and then go ahead and top stitch it, make a little loop. I make mine about 1 inch, and then I just compare it to the other side and make it the same size. Now it's time to go ahead and hem the bottom of your romper. You can either do it with a straight stitch or you can do it with your cover stitch machine. I have a hem guide for my cover stitch machines, or you can kind of just eyeball it. I did a 1/2 inch hem on the length of the shorts. I do this part a little differently than the way the pattern suggests, because they just want you to knot up the excess fabric that you have for your strap, but I add a strap adjuster. You can get a bundle pack on Etsy and I can link them in the description, but you just thread your fabric up and down through the strap adjuster, through your loop, and then come back up, and on the inside thread it up and down again, and then I leave about 1 inch, and then I'll top stitch that together, and then I'll repeat that on the opposite side. If you're interested in purchasing, I have these available in over 50 colors on my site that's linked in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below if you have any questions.